Don't forget to release ownership.
Yes.
It is the DM's character. His way to poke fun at us. I mean, he already has a dragon to do that with.
Yeah, that's different though.
We have a lot of DM agency within this party.
That's also true. That reminds me, I really need to pull her stats back up.
I forgot she's statted.
Well, of course.
What's going on?
Well, you don't stat things that you can't kill.
Well, we haven't gotten into
not...
a fight of that magnitude yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, I need to find this abomination of Instagram post that I was telling Snipe Hunter about before the game started. Just so I can show him a picture. Here it is. I found it.
That's the map of your home.
Hell
Why
yeah.
in the name of all do they want to do it at 7 a.m. PT?
Good God. Pacific time, though, so at least I guess that's 10 a.m. in New York.
Still, man.
Oh, man.
You see what I fucking mean?
Oh, man.
Do you fucking see what I mean? Are you not fucking a little bit, like, put upon by this?
I'm gonna try not to think about it. It's an Instagram that's like, I'm too young to know Nirvana, but I'm gonna be a subject matter expert on Nirvana anyway.
No,
It's just sad.
I'll drop it here. That this group is okay, and it's not like the people in the internet in the stream are ever gonna see the picture, so they're not gonna like. I'm not outing her or anything like this, but fucking seriously, it was like I had a moment, and yes, it was a stupid moment. It was a hipster moment. I recognize this, and I should become better. But for a moment, I was like, "Oh my fucking god, you stupid poser! That is not tie-dye. That is a fucking bleach-stained Nirvana shirt, and it's bleached because of their goddamn album name. Fuck you." But it was a deeply shameful level of pretentious BS offense I took from it.
Also,
You're a purist, sir. It happens.
And I don't talk about people behind their back, so I feel bad. I am repenting for the pretentiousness. God. Right. Anyway, it was good to get that out. It was Troll Skull Manor players.
Yeah, did you see the links in the chat?
Oh,
why did I link them twice, though? That's weird.
Latency.
Whatever.
Eli Goose in chat says, I'm sorry that I spilled my Tide on the Pasta Stained Nirvana shirt.
Pasta Stained is okay, too. It's just not fucking tie-dye.
Yeah. Completely different. Also, that's bleach stain.
Yeah!
You can even see how the damn shirt's like rolling up at the bottom, like the material's all torched.
What's the full name of the dragon?
It's in our note.
Not Xanathar.
Wow.
Zelly is her name. It's Zalepius.
Zoe. Zelly. Zelly, right?
Zelapharn, by the way.
Yeah,
Zelathar.
Zelapharn. Zelly for short. Okay, so when we left off last time, you had been given a task by the Harpers. If your mission, should you choose to accept it, style.
Yeah. Sounds like there's a creature in Uza's bookshop.
Yeah.
No reason why anybody should be kept from their books.
No.
At all. Also, Snipe, quick table question, because I asked this about the mimic pet last time.
I don't have bind. If you guys are willing to just let me cast bind or command twice, we could do the thing, but like killing it is easy, so I'm okay.
Right, no. Could you technically command it or bind it to act like a pet for said person?
I don't know how nice Snipe would be, so I didn't ask. I just assumed.
Well,
honestly.
that's why I'm asking, because... And I'll drop it, and then we can go about the business
And I
of
wouldn't
killing
command
Heist.
it to be a pet. I would command it to have a deep camaraderie with us, so that it wouldn't want to harm us at all, and just hang around us.
Okay, so
Companionship.
Well, the reason why I wanted to pet is because of pet.
To do the kind of binding that you're talking about actually is usually done by multiple spellcasters. So what would happen, the way that you would generally want to do that, is the primary spellcaster binds the creature. And while they're performing bind as a ritual, the assistant casters each perform command, or there's another one. It's not charm. Suggestion. It's suggestion. I think it's suggestion. Maybe that's 3E. But regardless, it's the other thing that is like command. You would cast either of those, each one being a condition or behavior that you want the bound creature to exhibit while it's bound, and then it gets woven into the primary spell. Mechanically, you do that with a couple of spell casts and a couple of difficulty checks. And then depending on like the ritual, there may be multiples involved. If you guys had the components to do that, and you had somehow physically restrained the mimic, you could probably attempt to do what you're talking about.
Mudar, why are you so keen on trying to capture a mimic? Did your parents not buy you a pet as a child? I suppose now that you are... Wait, you don't look like a child, right? You still look like an adult?
I mean, he looks like a younger elephant, but...
You know what a loxodon in puberty looks like?
Is this impulse a result of your more...
I was the one that asked about this, not him.
Yeah, no. Smoke was the one with the idea.
Oh,
but
I see.
Mudar looks in your cold mechanical gaze, and he says, "No guts, no glory," says the Emperor. And he leaves it at that.
Easy for the Emperor to say when he doesn't have to concern himself with staying alive. So smoking, or vile, what do you tend to go?
Sorry.
Smoke is fine.
Smoke. Exactly what is your reasoning for capturing this chest?
Creature in whatever form it's going to be.
Mimics have always fascinated me. On one particular adventure, I was having to find a thing for a person, and the thing turned out to be not the thing, but it turned into a mimic. I had to kill it, but it made me wonder about them perpetually thereafter. Always wondered what caused them. I also wondered if they were like bound by a magic, something that caused them to be feral, because Well, we've been able to tame cats and dogs and horses and all this other stuff. Why can't we tame them?
The same reason we can't tame many monsters. It's not in their nature.
Wow.
The Emperor does not like that kind of thinking.
Well, then the Emperor can come here and tell me himself.
But nature can
I
change.
am the voice of the Emperor. The Emperor speaks within my trunk.
So you say.
I don't even know that it has the actual capacity to think that. I think you might be overthinking
So,
it, overestimating its.
I did some research. There are rare intelligent-esque mimics.
Did your character do research?
This is why I
That's
said
why I said out of character.
I didn't hear you say that.
Overestimating its capabilities, Udar. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know what sort of risk might impose upon us to have it around. For all I know, it'll sneak off and destroy our, fancy barrels of booze down there.
Indeed.
Please to believe I would be somewhat
Smoke?
successful.
Somewhat
Mudar?
isn't good enough. We would need something that is perfectly successful, and unfortunately, we don't have a proven example.
If the mimic
Most
decides to
definitely,
attack
that's
innocents,
true.
We
But,
could,
but,
if you wanted
it's
to spend some
complimented
time
enough.
doing research at Blackstaff Tower and maybe prepare for the next time we come across a mimic, but at the same time, I still don't know that it's a mimic. A creature with a whole bunch of eyes, that sounds like a gazer. It could just be a gazer. We're talking all of this nonsense for something that I can literally grab and blast it to pieces.
Well, wait. I thought the intelligent lady who owned the shop said that it was a mimic.
No, she says it was a
No.
creature with a wad of eyes on it that
Which made
you
me
guys
think
were the ones that said it was a mimic.
I never said it was a mimic. I said I wanted to ask someone about a mimic because I have a master of monsters nearby.
Oh my god, where did we get this mimic thing from? Let's just go and kill this monster.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hi. How are
All
you?
right. Let's head on.
I thought mimics were explicitly expressed.
Nope. Never.
God damn it, Tabaxi.
I even brought that up when we were talking about it last week.
It was the fucking Tabaxi's fault. I failed my wisdom roll.
the mewlings of a kitten.
Oh, that's great.
I blame the Tabaxi.
I'm sure there's some anime somewhere where some character says something to another character and they spend like 4 episodes dwelling on it, and then it turns out it's like, no, it's actually this, not that.
Dude, I came up with legitimate code.
I saw that. All right, let's head down to his shop. It has Kikanal actually joined us yet?
I mean, I assume we roleplay that and actually have an introduction.
Yeah. Not yet.
Okay.
I assume. I mean, that's up to you guys. Actually, we left off literally at you guys basically telling them, "Hey, we'll do this thing for you," and then splitting.
That's a good idea. Okay.
Right.
We'll handle that then. I don't know. Looking at the time, that's probably going to be the session.
Yeah, it could be.
All right. So, how far is it from here?
The Trade Wards is basically just south of the City of the Dead, so it's pretty far. Other side of town, basically.
Okay, so probably take a cart.
Yeah.
How much for the lot of us?
Let's call that a dragon. Let's call that one goal.
Okay.
Travel to guarantees them money on the ride back out. So.
Sorry, say that again. First part cut off.
Sorry, I was saying travel to the trades, to the business district, basically guarantees that they're going to make money on the way out too. So they generally don't charge that much.
Gotcha. All right, I will.
Do we need to worry about the cost of things unless you explicitly say otherwise? Because this feels like Kind of like pocket money.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm
talked carts before.
say it again?
We have discussed the cost of carts before. This is a thing you've done before, is all I'm
yeah.
saying.
Oh, okay.
I deducted a dragon from my bag.
Ooh.
Move it along, grab one back, or whatever.
Yeah, in that case, you'll get there relatively quickly. Call it less than an hour.
All right.
Let's see. Let's assume that your meeting happened mid-morning, so you'll probably arrive just afternoon.
Now, remind me again, is her home adjacent but separate from the shop, or is it
Her
a
home-
different building?
Her home is literally above the shop. So her shop is one of those row houses, but where the bottom floor of a row house would generally be like the kitchen and the living room area, she has converted it into an open booked like library sort of area that would have been the living room, and what would have been the kitchen she has converted into a private office. You presume that she has some method of cooking upstairs. This will only come up if you have to explore the house. But from what you've heard of other people who have talked about the place, downstairs, for all intents and purposes, is a relatively claustrophobic collection of freestanding bookshelves.
Okay. How do I get to the second floor, or some way to get to her attention?
There is a staircase that leads up to the second floor.
Okay.
Generally speaking, there is a door at the top of the stairs that is generally speaking locked. Now, when you get here, you're not actually going to be inside yet. You will find Uza waiting outside. In fact,
excellent.
she's afraid to go inside.
Oh,
I said,
fantastic.
by the as we're traveling over there, I said, by the way, Zoe, while we're there, it might be worth inquiring about that riddle of yours. Places like bookstores are often filled with knowledge.
Excuse me. She kind of gives you a sort of like a side eye kind of, but there's a smirk to it. And she says, good idea. Okay. Uza, for her part, is, an old woman. She's dressed pretty decently. You would guess that she does pretty well in her trade in rare books. However, today she is absolutely distraught. You can see the tracks of tears in what would have otherwise been relatively formal makeup. Her hair would have been in a tight bun, but now is a bit disheveled with strands poking out here and there in random places. She's hunched over, like you wouldn't guess her age to be less than 65, 70, and it's been a hard life if it's that young, When you arrive, she sort of sizes you up immediately, and she says, "Are you friends of Floon?" with a sort of hopeful tone to her ancient voice.
The Emperor protects. That we are.
Floon has this.
Thank God.
The Emperor. Got him.
Or, your god, or god, or no god, and you just...
It might be worth holding off. We don't know whether or not a god is responsible for this. So what seems to be the problem?
She sort of points hurriedly at the store, and she says, "It's a monster. It's hunting Philippa."
Philippa?
I think it might have gotten her already.
Is that
Who's Philippa?
Kitty cat meow?
She turns to look at the tabaxi, and she says, Yes, that's my cat.
Pretty name. Let's find a small furry friend.
Open the door.
Can you smell Felipe smoke?
Interesting. Well, from out on the street, probably not. The street's pretty well traveled. The business district at this time of day, in particular, gets a lot of foot traffic.
Moodar might. He has bigger nose than I do.
Do I smell the cat on the woman? Surely you'd be able to smell the cat on
absolutely.
the woman.
Absolutely.
Oh, I do? It smells like fucking cat here.
Yeah, both Moodar and Smoke can absolutely, if they get close enough to her, smell cat on her. A specific
I could probably
cat.
smell cat.
Yeah, actually, as a hobgoblin, you probably could.
I can
Yay.
probably
Do
analyze
you
the
have
particles in the air, but whatever.
keen smell like trait? It's a character trait, man. My trunk.
Time to save kittens.
Please,
There's a kitten.
absolutely. There's a cat we need to save.
Excuse me just a second while I suffocate. That smoke went down the wrong hole.
Oh no.
Oh, that's not good.
That was better. Sorry about that. Yeah, so the main frontage of the building, as you look at it, you realize it probably has an attic. It's a very steeply stabled roof on the second floor. But it's a relatively narrow stone building with a slate roof. Like I said, it's very steeply angled. That implies that there's at least one room on the third floor, if not a full-blown, full building attic. The front window covers most of the wall, and it's almost floor to ceiling. It's actually about 3 feet up off the floor, all the way up to the, for lack of a better word, lintel of the top floor of the first floor. There is a door set on the right side that also has a glass panel cut into it that's about 1 foot wide and 4 feet tall in the center, so that you can sort of look inside. If you look inside, you will see that there are rows of bookshelves. However, many of them seem to have been knocked over. It's very clear that some sort of ruckus has gone on. Uza, for her part, says it's in there, and she says, "Be careful. It had so many eyes."
How many? Did it have eyes on tentacles or just eyes on a cluster?
She nods effusively when you say eyes on tentacles, and she says, "I saw at least 3.
The gazer.
Teeth that had teeth."
We'll destroy it. Open the door and or is the door already open?
It's not locked, but it is closed.
Oh, okay. So then I'd probably have headed in.
All right. If you step inside, everything seems quiet, at least initially. By the way, I don't know which of you has ownership still of record, but you should let go of them.
It is not me.
I'll fix it later. I'm not worried about it. I just noticed he was in the list at the top. I was like, wait, what the fuck, dude? You're not in the story anymore. Get out of here.
The Emperor teaches temperance.
All right.
Somebody just
so like
whisper,
I said,
who was...
that's pretty funny. Did you whisper a record to see you had him?
Yep.
Oh, it's me?
Oh, weird. Actually, it says it's me.
That's because I just released him.
Ah, got it. Yeah, whatever. All right. Like I said, seems quiet, at least at first. What do you guys want to do? I don't have a map for this place, by the way. So.
My intent would
Pour
be
down the door like the Emperor fucking intended an Emperor to
no. Open the door quietly and try to sneak in and urge that everybody tries to stay quiet.
There's a goddamn monster in there, though.
Smoke. As you approach the door and you look through the windows, you can spot a couple of telltale signs that like a chase probably happened. The way the bookshelves are knocked over doesn't imply like anybody was looting or anything like that. They look like they were knocked over kind of recklessly, and it's not all of them. It's only a few, as if maybe something was kicking off of the bookshelves as it was escaping. What else? The door at the top of the stairs is wide open. Diggs, with that roll, you should be able to slip into the door without anybody hearing you. Nobody seems to be watching either.
I'm gonna check if there's a back door.
I slip into the door with nobody seeing me.
Likewise for you as well. You seem like you're fine, Clarice.
I'm actually going
On
to.
the door that was open upstairs, does the trail of debris clearly lead there, or does it lead somewhere else in the room?
No, it clearly leads upstairs. Like, there are literal books on the first few floors. Like, first few steps, I mean, not floors.
I will stealthily abscond upwards.
Okay. So as you get to the top of the stairs, you realize that you hear what sounds like scraping or scratching for a moment. And then you hear a thump, and then like a rattle really quick, like the sound of somebody tapping on a snare drum almost. If you had to guess, you would say it was claws on wood. And it seemed like it came from the end of the hallway that you're looking at. There's a door that is also open, and you think it came from the room at the end of that hallway.
Do I need to roll stealth again, or can I just...
Right now, no one has detected you as far as you can tell. You think you're fine.
I keep going that direction, all stealthy like. Do I need to do a perception as I get closer to make sure I see whatever's there?
You're being careful, I assume. You're creeping.
Yes.
You're like, yeah, okay. No, I think you're fine then. I assume the rest of you are following?
I'm creeping
Yeah,
behind.
if that's where we're hearing the
Disadvantage
sound,
for
I'd be following
stealth,
as well.
But I will follow them and give up any attempt to look for a back door.
How big is this building?
It's about like one living room wide, but maybe like 2 living rooms deep, and seems to be at least 2 stories, if not 3 stories tall.
Interesting. My cannon has actually, my little drone has actually found a purchase on Clargus, but I myself am actually circling around back of the building.
Okay. Around back, there are no obvious doors on the first floor. However, on the second floor, there are multiple large windows. One on, if you're looking at the building from the back, I guess it would be the right-hand side of the second floor, and another floor above it. It looks like there is, from your perspective, you would guess, a kitchen or maybe a like storage room. Like, you say kitchen because there are dried herbs hanging in the window. But like there's clearly, you would call them living quarters on the second floor. Also, those dried herbs are rocking back and forth as if something has brushed by them recently.
The dry herbs on the balcony?
Window.
Oh, yeah.
In the window, yeah. The window itself is closed, so you're watching them behind the glass.
Blow the fuck up!
I make my way to the second floor by, you see, I've reworked my arm to it's a grappling hook. I'm not going to put too fine a point on it. It's a grappling hook. It's a grappling hook that's built into my arm. It shoots a rope with an anchor on it, but it's built into my arm.
Right. Did you do this on the ride over?
Oh yeah. I mean, I did this.
I mean, you had time in the carriage. You could have.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. I'll accept that. So you Mega Man your way upstairs. Or sorry, that's Bionic Commando. My bad.
Hit and a miss. Swing and a miss. Yeah, that's my inspiration. Bionic Commando. Yeah. As my cape sort of, as I land, it sort of, what's the word? It sort of like
unfurls, maybe?
Unfurls,
Is that the word you're looking for? Yeah. Like maybe the wings of some sort of flying rodent, perhaps.
Something like that. Some sort of creature.
Darkwing Duck! Let's get dangerous!
As I went, and I went.
Nice. Can you do me a favor and roll a dexterity check, or athletics or acrobatics, either one?
Sure. Let's see. I've got quite a high acrobatics, so.
Okay. It's a good thing that you have that high acrobatics. In fact, So you look, your apparatus works exactly as you expect. It pulls you towards the wall exactly as you would expect. You brace yourself to land gracefully and Fleeter Mouse style. However, you didn't actually account for the speed of the retraction properly. You maybe forgot to carry a 1, or there was a sign error somewhere in your math, and the winch actually pulls way faster than you thought it would. So rather than landing completely gracefully, you land with a hard thump as you hit against the wall. For those of you walking up the stairs, you hear what sounds like a hammer hitting a wall at the far end of the hallway. This is followed by a hiss and a scatter and a skitter of claws on wood. And from out the door shoots, I mean, honestly, if it wasn't completely terrified, an adorable Siamese cat. It's about 2 feet long and about a foot tall. So, not the world's biggest cat, but also not a small cat either. You would guess by his big puffy cheeks that he's a tom. But right now he's just completely puffed out as a sort of seal-pointed furball as he comes screaming past you, howling.
Can I make a
reaction to try to grab?
Yeah, both of you. I mean, let's go with Smoke since he's in the front, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Okay. What do I need to roll?
What are you going to try to do?
Grab and keep the little furball.
Okay.
I guess grapple?
Athletics or acrobatics? Yeah, we'll treat this as a grapple. Okay, so you will get your hands on this cat. That might cost you, however.
Can I cast Protect?
Do you have that?
I think I have something similar though. Not
like, do you have something you can use as a reaction like that? Like, if you were a paladin, you could.
Yes, I have a bonus action for Shield of Faith.
Okay, that would work.
I am a paladin.
Yeah, eventually you'll get to choose a fight style, and if you pick Shield, you can use the Protect action.
And then I can.
The moments like this is literally what it's for.
Yeah, I was thinking about it because you were like, it's what you do all the time.
Yeah, I fucking love that. Like, that's such a paladin thing.
Oh,
what was that?
So select smoking vial.
He shields, he protects, he wrecks the face.
Right.
Just like that. Did that work?
Okay. So what that's going to do, though, that's just going to increase your AC, Smoke. So that will help, though. Hold on just a second. All right. Hold on. I shouldn't have thrown that in the tower. That was the wrong place for it.
Yeah, no, Mudar realizing
you really didn't want that.
What
that's
the cat
much
is
better.
doing
That's
to the
better.
cat. I go, wait a minute. No.
Okay, Smoke. So the cat goes shooting by. In the sort of like adrenaline-fueled moment, you actually see it turn its head to look at you and kind of give you a what the fuck face as it goes screaming by. You go to grab it, attempting to get it by the scruff, but it shoots through your hand so fast that all you get a hold of is its tail. It yanks against you as it realizes it's caught. Just the force of its motion just pulling your hand with it. And it like sort of does this sort of like head tuck roll thing. And so your hand, still moving with its momentum, ends up over the cat, and it unleashes like hell itself is attacking the wrist of your hand. And it hits you with its back paws repeatedly. However, you find them much more resilient than you would expect. And so really doesn't even hurt. It's kind of like it's scratching you rather than cutting you. That said, there's a ball of fury attached to your fist by the tail you're holding.
Mudar looks to everybody else. They don't have a direct answer. Oh no, you would do something.
Yeah. I would probably have tried to grab the cat and get it in a more comfortable position, but was unable to even get a hold of this curious creature.
Can I
Yeah,
have
it just
a
doesn't
reaction
stop
before
long enough for you to put your hands on
tries to hit Clargus for getting close to it?
it. Nah, you're fine. You wouldn't really be able to interject. Its arms are too short for you to get in the way.
I point to the cat and I say, "Heal."
Nice.
I want him to, heal like
Yeah.
a dog.
Yeah. Hold on.
Looks like it's saved.
It's a cat. Oh,
Okay.
what? It
Oh, I
didn't.
see.
Okay.
Okay.
So it
don't-
immediately goes slack and just sort of stops. Karoma,
Yes.
you are basically sitting with your feet sort of planted on the wall in front of you, your arm gripping the sort of stucco on the exterior, looking through the window into, now that you can see it, what is clearly, you probably guess it was a bedroom at one point, but it's been converted into a kind of like combination kitchen / workshop. There's no like oven or anything like that, but it looks like we lost Diggs. Oh, hopefully he gets back.
Oh, we lost the server.
Yeah.
Oh no. Whoa, a bunch of maps just randomly opened on my screen in Fantasy Grounds. What the hell just happened?
Weird.
That was fucking weird. Okay, let me know when you're all logged back in, I guess.
Yeah, we gotta have to hard close it here.
You know what? If we're all hard closing it anyway, let me do the same so that I reboot this server because I don't trust it now.
Sounds good. That I'll be okay for just a second, and we'll kill this little gazer in a
Likewise, I need to go get something to drink.
Cool. While I'm waiting for the server to load, I'll go grab my pizza finally too.
What did they do wrong on your pizza, by the way, sir?
Oh my god! So I ordered a bacon, onion, jalapeno pizza, and what I got was a jalapeno chicken barbecue sauce pizza.
Pho?
Now, if any of you know me personally, you will already know what I'm about to say. But if you don't, you can record this as a piece of personal information that is core to my soul. There is nothing I despise more than fucking barbecue sauce.
Like all of them?
I will starve rather than eat it.
Noted.
We've had wings.
I actually do
together.
like the very spicy vinegary based sauces. It's the sweet candied barbecue specifically that I don't like.
Yeah, I was gonna say
And
we
I
literally
just-
had wings.
I just can't handle it. It's just gross. And like, yes, it's not like so revolting that I'll puke or anything, but it is absolutely on my list of do not want.
I don't want like it tastes like it came out of a confectionery shop barbecue sauce, but I like to have a little bit of something to break the pure heat. As another note, does that make sense?
Yeah, I can absolutely understand that. That's actually, I prefer sour to sweet as a way to break the hot, but I do totally agree with what you're saying.
For me, it depends on the sour. Like some of them can do good. Most that I've had are, ooh. But most likely what they put on that's basically like Casey Hunt, like it's basically pure sugar.
Yeah, exactly. I can't hang with that.
I feel the same way.
I have a thing about my, like, I don't want my main course to be sweet. It's just not a thing I like.
All right, I'm back.
Same.
Yep. I will actually be right back. The server is loading right now, so you should be able to connect soon.
Now that makes me wonder about salsa, because most of the salsas I've had are rather sweet, and those can be used as a main dish topper.
What was the question about, or what was the conversation I missed, I guess?
Oh, Snipe Hunter point blank hates sweet barbecue sauce. He doesn't like a main dish being sweet.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
No, I understand, but I've fixed a number of dishes recently that had basically a sweet salsa on top of my meat, and I was wondering aloud if that would be a hard no for him or not.
Like ice salsa?
Well, the one I used just yesterday was a mango salsa. Grilled up some chicken and used that on top of it.
That
Personally,
actually
it was
sounds
tasty,
pretty
but
yummy.
Back.
that's
Like
why I
I
was
actually
wondering.
like the citrus flavors. Like if you're gonna go sweet, then try to go citrusy. Citrusy is what I would say.
That makes
Okay.
But just like tomatoes and brown sugar and molasses, like a fuck you on my meat.
Exactly.
I get
Oh.
ya. I'm almost there with you. There's a few sauces I still fucks with A1 on meat there, but I guess that's not really sweet. It's a little more savory.
I was gonna say it's got at least a nice sour note to it. It is pretty sweet too, but it is also pretty sour.
The only kind of sweet that's like acceptable on my beef or something is like honey, and then very limited amounts.
Like a honey
That-
butter or something.
I was gonna say that can be good too if it's like seared into a crust on your meat.
Not exactly. I was thinking more. What I really wanted to be to start experimenting with is I think it's broiling. I want to make nice soft roasts. Something,
Yeah.
something that falls apart with your fork when you try to push it inside.
Yeah, I hear you.
So
I like a good brisket that way.
That's what the term is. It's a brisket. Yeah, and I wanted to use honey and other stuff in order to.
One of my
Yes.
absolute
Skin softer.
favorite ways of fixing brisket here recently, crock pot.
Yeah, for sure. That slow cook shit. I love that.
Yup. I can set that up before I go to work, and after 8 hours, it is fork tender. It is so good.
my childhood was a roast in the crock pot with a pack of dry French onion soup over the top, and then a can of cream of mushroom.
Yep.
Me. I would eat the fuck out of that.
Do remember to make sure you have a bed of
Potatoes.
carrots or potatoes if you are in a starch-friendly environment. Otherwise, carrots and celery.
Yeah, we did carrots
Very
and
good.
potatoes usually.
We do celery here because, well, diabetic family is diabetic,
Yeah, makes
and starches go everywhere.
Fucking sweet potatoes. I've lived next to an Asian food market too long to go back to the normal fucking potato. Plebeian potatoes go home. Fucking sweet potatoes on my fucking face.
I do like regular potatoes a lot, though.
Yeah, there aren't plebeian potatoes. There's a range and variety of potatoes. There's a science of it. It's amazing.
There is.
I only really prefer golden potatoes and yams.
Yams are fucking great. Yeah.
Yep.
Alright.
Nothing against a good baker or a red potato. I just prefer golden and yams. They have a
like
better
golden
texture and
potatoes, too.
flavor.
I do like me a good baked russet, though, to be fair. Like a classic baked potato is pretty good.
Yeah,
Only if it's the size of my head.
Fair.
You know, I've had small bakers. They're horrible. Give me a good sized baker and it's amazing. Okay, and the hunt is on. Is everyone back?
Uh-huh.
We're not all connected yet.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Also, I needed to remind you guys, I'm not being stealthy. I get a very clear minus to my stealth because of my armor.
And
Yeah.
I was also thinking you would be very stealthy because you're the size of the house.
Mudar is actually quite small for his guy.
I mean, a Loxodon is
He
going
is
to
a
be
chunky
stealthy the
boy.
same way that
He
a
actually
Minotaur
is
is
very
stealthy.
chunky.
That you just don't hear them or see them, and suddenly they appear, and it's like, oh shit.
How the fuck?
Conan style.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you know that Conan was doing that to people. Shitting their pants while he laughs his ass off.
I love the Conan.
You are a lousy
meme.
thief. Too big. Punches a camel.
What do you think, Snipe?
With that perfect fucking... I'm sorry, Snipe Hunter. But
Oh, it's all good.
it's the perfect backwards recording of the punching fucking person, too. Like, that punched camel, if you, like, look into the cinematography... Oh my god.
Totally, though. I get what you're saying.
If you look into the techniques of how that was shot, it's pretty funny.
Totally. Yeah, all I was saying earlier was I love the Conan was actually a rogue, not a barbarian meme.
Fun.
Rogue Barbarian is a very viable subclass.
Totally. Oh yeah, if I was gonna run a barbarian, I think I would take at least a couple of levels of rogue if I had the opportunity.
You know what's
Oh,
funny?
yeah.
Or scout.
I've read a comic about that.
Jason once made a rogue barbarian, and it was the most overpowered character fucking ever.
Yeah.
It had like double strike and +10 stealth, and like it was so fucked up. It was so, but like it had the health of a tank, so like it could stealth and then double hit everything, and then it was fucking. It was
Sneak
disgusting.
attack.
This was in
Yeah.
This was fourth ed, and if God willing, they nerfed the hell out of this potential build because it was so.
Oh
it
no.
was so dirty.
I've read about it. Rogue Barbarian is still as viable as it's always been. I learned about it in 3.5 and Pathfinder.
It's actually a better build in Pathfinder than it is in 4E even.
God.
All right.
Pathfinder, you just fuck shit up.
So, the hunt.
All right, I think we're just waiting for Sozo to finish connecting, but I think we're all back. All right, looks like I see you all there.
Use my club. It is big club. It is also slim. It is slim.
So Sozo.
Yeah.
What I was about to say before everything went weird there was that as you land, it made more noise than you expected. You landed harder than you were thinking, and in response to that noise, you can clearly see a cat careen out of a door to your left that you can't see from your purchase on the wall. However, floating in the air, probably a foot off the ceiling, and moving to follow that creature, that cat, is very clearly a gazer like the one that you guys fought in the sewers. It has not yet noticed you.
Good. Very good. That's quite a. I'm not going to necessarily do that. That's a little too. It's a little too much.
Karoma can see that, but we can't. We're not at the same place.
Right. Karoma is on the outside of the building looking into the room the cat just came out of.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to just double check. Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna prepare an attack, and then I'm gonna prepare a bonus action, if that makes sense. And it's doable.
Yeah. Only prepare.
I mean, it's a bonus action, so you get it for free
Right.
normally.
You can't prepare more than one action, though. It's in the rules for preparing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can take a bonus action and a free action, and then prepare an action. But you can't prepare.
Yeah, that's
all
perfectly
of
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, interesting. In that case, it's a okay. Yeah. I'm going to prepare an action.
Oh.
Which is to say, basically my my drone, like, it makes a little whirring sound. It goes beep, 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 and like, if it's quiet, but it's loud enough that if Clargus is paying attention, he can hear it, sort of like, and feel it kind of shuffle. It's not quite a shuffle. It almost feels like there's something like spinning inside of it that like starts to spin for a moment and then ceases. So it feels like suddenly there's like
kind of buzzes for a second.
a thrum, if you will.
Yeah, totally.
On his shoulder. And then that's me preparing a bonus action. And then as for an actual action,
I will need you to be explicit as to what you are preparing and what the trigger is to set it off.
The trigger is as soon as the creature is within sight, and the action is a force cannon.
Got it. Okay.
Actually, you know what? Screw that. Force cannon. Well, actually, I'm kind of
trying not to destroy the place.
Yeah. So flamethrower is not. I mean, that's why I'm not using a flamethrower in a bookstore. And actually, I was thinking, why don't I just throw some grease on it? And then I thought, actually, hold on.
This could get out of hand.
I thought, you know what? I could burn this place down, but it's not that great of a threat. And then I'm going to. What do I see in the room?
It's kind of like a kitchen in that there are tables that are made of wood, like thick wood, almost like chopping blocks. On them are mixing bowls. There are dried herbs hanging in the window. However, there is no obvious stove, so you're not exactly sure how they're cooking. And in fact, you don't actually see any food other than the herbs. So maybe it's like maybe they make potions or something there, and you just don't see a lot of evidence of their like other tools around.
How many doors are there?
Just one. You can't actually see it from where you're at, but you can gather it's there from the noise that you heard.
I see. And the creature's heading towards the door?
Correct. In your field of view, it is moving from the right side of your field of view towards the left.
Okay. I assume I can just stealthily open the window, or is there a door?
There is no door. You can slide the window open, however.
Cool. In that case, I'll
it's a little anachronistic. I guess you could open the window.
Yeah. I'll attempt to Stealth. Actually, you know what? If I use Mage Hand, I don't have to worry about making any noise.
That's true.
So I'm just my Mage Hand materializes and slides the window up completely silently.
Okay.
And then I will. Yeah, and then I'll wait. Now I have a. Yeah, I'll wait. I mean, I'm like hiding. I'm not making an effort to engage in the creature before
Right.
everyone else.
While
Okay.
Smoke was dealing with a cat on his arm, I think Clargus would have stepped forward in case something came in while first friend is being catted.
Okay. I can see that. You're basically standing in a hallway. There are 3 doors along it. The one at the end is open, and that's where the cat came from. There is no actual like window in this hallway, so it's a little bit shadowed, but there's light streaming in through the open door. So you have pretty good visibility for what it's worth. You can't actually see through the door from where you're standing, however.
Gotcha.
Karoma. Sorry, man. Really quick, Karoma. You notice that the gazer is it's moving kind of slow. Like, you know, you've seen one of these before, and you know they're capable of easily twice the speed that it is exhibiting as it slowly bobs its way across the room.
Interesting. Does it seem to be moving? Does it look visibly wounded?
No, but its eye stalks are drooped down, almost hanging off the top of its warty orb, like hair. Like they're not looking at anything in particular.
At that point, I think to myself, it's rather strange that cat was still alive, despite seemingly making no effort to run away until I arrived here. The cat didn't actually seem to run away until it heard me land. But
if you had to guess, though, it was probably hiding and got scared by the thump.
I see. Interesting. I wonder to myself, its eye stalks are drooped. It's not moving super quickly. Are there any signs that indicate where it came from?
Not that you can tell, no.
Interesting.
I would probably advance towards the door, by the way, that's open.
Okay. Are you just going to step through the door, or are you like going to try to peek around the corner? Or,
I'm being sneaky, so yeah, I would kind of look around first.
Okay. Could you give me... Let's do a perception check since you've already done the stealth roll.
All right.
Okay. Even without poking your head through the doorway, you can see the play of sort of like shadow and light as it moves across the room. You can see that it's hovering, like I said earlier, about a foot off the ceiling and moving kind of erratically. Not so much like it can't control its motions, but like it keeps sort of like petering out and then moving back and petering out and then moving and petering out, like it's running out of like power, for a better way to put it, I guess. It looks to be about halfway across a room that you would guess is about 12 feet long. So, not quite in the tile next to you, but pretty fucking close.
Since we've dealt with Xanathar's group and all of their gazers, does this one look like it could be one of his?
Sure, absolutely.
He sees the gazer?
No, you're going to see it in a second. I'm just saying it looks exactly like every gazer you've seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The exception being more its demeanor than anything else.
I think I'm gonna plan to try to grab and grapple it like I did before. Hold it in such a way that it can't bite anyone.
Okay, you're gonna wait for it to come through the door, basically, and then grab it.
Yeah, kind of get it from behind by the base of the eye stalks, whatever.
Okay. So, as it comes through the door, a couple of things are going to happen. Clargus is going to make a reach for it. However, this will also trigger the conditions of your force cannon, Corona.
Right.
Shield of Faith
Uh,
on Clargus, so you can just blast through his arm, unharmed, and then hit the guy.
it would avert the force cannon in such a way that it wouldn't damage Clargus.
Right. I mean, it's on Clargus' shoulder and aiming from there, so it can aim without hitting Clargus.
Unless the creature's in its hands.
Right. The point is,
it can be a very precise force cannon, but
right. I mean, your drone is small enough that I can imagine that you could shoot the thing before Clargus could get his hands on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
right. Okay. What does what's the expression of the creature as we make ourselves as they round the corner?
Its main eye widens, but that's about all you could say in the split second you have.
That damn tabaxi. It's not a mimic.
It is, in fact, not a mimic.
As they round the corner, I'll take a free action because it's a free action. It's not even an action. It's I'll essentially shout from behind. I'll say, "Freeze, monster!"
Freeze, monster scum! No, just freeze, monster.
Okay. A few of its eye stalks, actually not even a few, 2 of its eye stalks sort of limply raise to look at you as you speak. But it otherwise doesn't seem to respond.
Well,
are you going to fire that force cannon?
If it doesn't freeze, yeah, it's fired.
Okay. Could you roll the attack for that, please?
Let me figure out where that roll is. What would I roll for that?
If you look under abilities, it should tell you. Here, let me pull up your character sheet really quick.
It's a ranged spell attack. Okay. I don't have a ranged spell attack.
So that's 1d20 plus your spell modifier.
Oh, okay. Which is probably pretty high. Where would I find that information, though?
Yeah, I'm looking for that right now myself. Interesting. I don't see it in your abilities, which is where I would expect that.
I mean, oh, that's a save. Whoops.
You know what you can do though is cast any other spell that has an attack roll. That would work too.
Yeah. Cool. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, close.
Oh, that's a hit though. Okay. Roll the damage for your force cannon, which I think is what 3d8 or something like that. It's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick. Don't, not wrong dice. Ignore that. Oh, okay, pretty good.
Okay.
Also blasted back 5. Yeah. What happens?
Yeah. Okay. It goes basically from its position in the sort of like upper corner of the door frame to the window. It basically covers that distance in like a 16th of a second. At the same time, it loses approximately 90% of its mass. All of that becoming a sort of like purplish green mist that splats against the window like paint. As most of the creature then thuds dolly into the glass and sort of slips down onto the table below it. And that gazer is dead.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Poor
Fucking
sad
really?
Jazer.
Yeah, so problem solved, I guess.
Let's search the rest of the house just to be sure.
I show up at the top of the staircase. I'm like, is everyone okay?
Yeah,
Did
you
it
take care of it.
like explode on death, or is it still kind of breathing?
No, it's dead. It basically had a very large hole shot through it.
Gotcha.
Which undid it. So when it slammed into the glass, any pretense of life it had left was gone.
Gotcha.
I
think
am investigating the house for more gazers and or any evidence of how the gazer got in.
good idea. I'm going to go ask the woman if she knows anything about it.
Wait, first we have to check to see if the books are safe.
Yes,
You do
yes.
that.
Any reason to accidentally read some literature, right?
I have
Right?
Keith's first ball, right? I have his first ball, or does the other has the first ball?
You have first ball.
Yay, first ball! I pet him and I cuddle and I croon the little kitten, trying to calm it down.
Before I go though.
Yeah, it's actually very calm now. It was basically told not to freak out, so it's not. It's not like happy, but it's also not freaking out.
I work on making a happy Kit Kat.
Yes, dude. Kit Kats are important.
And while taking care of Kit Kat, I'd also
Yeah, I assume you're gonna probably walk it out to its owner? Question mark.
Yeah, just looking over the Kit Kat while walking it out, then going back inside because, well, I do what I do.
Sure.
I'd imagine she asks what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, she sees you walk out with the cat. She just rushes up to you and grabs the cat first, and then she says, "You got rid of it? That horrid creature?"
Mm-hmm. It looks dead.
Oh, thank God. The books are okay, right?
I wanted to get Kit Kat to you. I was going to go back and look at shelves now. Sort things.
We're checking on the book, so you have to tell us if the books seem damaged tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of books that have landed and like opened up, but overall everything looks okay. Nothing looks damaged. Doesn't look like the gazer used any of its like spell casting, its eye rays, for lack of a better way to put it.
It was just curious about the kitty.
It was very hungry.
That's probably true.
I am doing that investigation as well, though.
I guess Karuma probably came in and harvested it for part.
Except for the tongue. I got myself that tongue for good eating.
Right. Its eye stalks are useful. Its eyes are magical.
You have enough eye stalks to make your own case.
If this is like a regular thing for you, Kuroma, I think the tongue could be made into quite a popular dish. Get me some more gazer tongue for the inn. That we could make that a thing.
Interesting.
What?
I mean, it's interesting, right? You could make it like a delicacy, like a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what he's thinking.
We'll need troll blood alcohol then.
I'll keep that in mind. Let's hope we don't run into too many of them, though. Would anyone care to? Well, yeah. I'm gonna go interrogate the lady.
No, I'm looking around to see how that gazer got in.
I'd
okay.
probably be looking for any specific damage or anything, like where the gazer might have potentially broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so the only like damage you can really see at all is the fact that the bookshelves downstairs have been knocked over all over the place. There's a bunch of like pots and bottles and stuff on the ground in that sort of kitchen-esque room that you guys saw. A lot of them have been cracked and broken, but they don't look like a huge loss or anything like that at all. The books themselves seem relatively fine. A few have maybe some folded pages, but nothing's damaged beyond use or anything like that. Overall, it looks okay. There's no real evidence that this creature somehow gained access to the house. It's almost like it just appeared there.
This is a house of books. It may have spells. What's I finds?
Oh, there are tons of spell books, in fact. Or maybe a better way to put it is grimoires. I mean, you're not exactly the kind of person who could tell the difference between a real spell book and not, if they were both in some way magical. So, I mean, as far as you can tell, tons of spell books.
Anything that talks about giant lost gods and trapped in ice.
You'd have to read them all, wouldn't you?
I'm reading some of them.
Smoke. That said, while you're looking at the books, there is a thing that catches your eye downstairs. Right out in front of the door that clearly leads back to Uza's office is a small table. Nice little chair. Just like a corner that you might sit down to read a good book in comfortably. Sitting on the table, however, is a silver. Well, gosh, I mean, you almost want to call it a book, in that it's the same size and shape as a book. It has hinges and a closed clasp on the edge. You haven't actually opened it yet, but it looks like a silver book.
Is it just us in here still, right?
Oh yeah, Uza's outside.
I'm looking at.
She's got her cat with her.
I'm looking at books and how things are like, maybe damaged by how the gazer got in. Like, Paladin isn't looking at you.
Yeah, there is no evidence, by the way, that the gazer got in somehow. Just to reiterate that.
What the fuck? Really? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. That's fucking strange. We need to interrogate the woman after I'm done doing some of my own research. Is there a library use skill?
Oh, what was that, Mudar? Sorry.
I said, is there a library use skill? I was making a Call of Cthulhu joke.
That's funny.
Can I use like insight to try to find what I'm looking for before I go and interrogate her?
1 second. Let me do a thing really quick.
Most definitely, do your thing.
Okay. Now, what were you looking for? What was your eye on?
I'm looking for two things. One is for any references on that rune stuff, for specifically the potential magic runic crap that's going on in our house. Hello?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you want to make an insight roll for me then?
Yeah, absolutely. And then after that, oh wow, okay. And then after completely failing at that because there just isn't anything here, I do want to look to see if there's anything maybe concerning my dear God Emperor. Holy books are always interesting, or references, or whatever.
Okay, Clargus. You can make either an insight, arcana, or religious check to search for books about Meriadar. I would say the same to you, Mudar, but the roll you made is just fine. There are no books about the God Emperor, I'm afraid.
Sad.
Okay, Clargus. You don't really find much. You do, however, find a book about, well, I guess you could call it a treatise on comparative religions, for lack of a better way to put it. And it does mention Meriadar in passing, but it's secular. It's not religious. One of the things it mentions is, that Meriadar is a sort of patchwork god, sort of composite god made of the elements of the creatures that worship it. There's even some question as to whether or not it is actually a god.
I think the cleric would.
Yeah, I mean, the overall conventional wisdom is that while an unusual creature, it's the status of a deity, at least in terms of power.
The cat?
No, Meriadar. Meriadar's a sort of god to goblinoid creatures. Yeah, I mean, the book says he lives in Arcadia. Really not much else. It's your classic like intro to religion style precept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, at least I got the facts straight. I guess one other thing that I've been looking for too is if there's an updated map of the entirety of the sewers.
You do not find anything of the sort.
I wouldn't think so.
You do find various like what's the word I'm looking for? I guess treatise is the way to put it. You do find various academic discussions about the sewers. There's one that sort of talks about it topologically, suggesting that perhaps the sewers themselves may not have a static shape. There is another one that describes a sort of mathematical algorithm that one might use to calculate the shape of the sewers, but there's really nothing that provides any definitive maps.
That sounds like people trying to make more distraction, make it seem more mystical than it actually is.
Right, like it feels almost mythological.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a laugh. All right. Well, that's it for books then. I don't really think I'm going to be doing any specific RP work anytime soon. I'd probably go out and talk with the lady and the cat. Well,
Okay. Well, when you come out, she asks you if everything is okay. She says, "I don't see any smoke or anything. Is it safe to go back inside?"
Oh, absolutely not.
we're still searching to see if there's any more in there. You only saw the one you said, right? There weren't any locked in the other room.
No, not that I saw. Though it seemed to go straight for poor Philippa almost immediately. It's weird. It's almost like. Do you know how thunder sounds? If you could imagine if thunder was quieter, smaller, like it was far, far away, but not. If that makes any sense. And then it was chasing the cat.
I don't think it seemed very interested in the cat, actually.
Well,
In
Philippa
fact-
ran as soon as she saw it, and it seemed to move after her.
Really, because when I witnessed it, it was moving rather disinterestedly.
I don't know.
How quickly did you get out of the house without taking any injury?
How did the geezer get into the house?
Well, they took off upstairs after Philippa ran through the stacks. I just ran straight outside.
Really?
Which stacks did she come out of?
A gazer
flagged
wouldn't.
I flagged down a carriage driver and called my friends as fast as I could.
In my experience, a gazer wouldn't let someone leave just like that.
How did
Especially
the gazer?
considering it could attack you at the same time it bothered to chase your cat.
Didn't seem interested in me.
Where did it come from?
How did it even get into the house?
I don't know. Like I said, it was just there all of a sudden.
Have you made any enemies?
Just appeared there.
Is the great Lord of Waterdeep Xanathar interested in you?
She thinks about it for a second, and she says, "Well, I've certainly done business with Xanathar. I've acquired many books on his behalf, but no, I can't think of any reason why he would. I mean, I understand why. I mean, with those eyes, why you would think he might be involved, but I can't imagine it. No."
Okay.
Wonder, do you know if you have any books on the Kin of Beholders?
Likewise, I was also looking for something. Some kind of rune magic.
She thinks for a minute, and she says, "Well, there's Volo's book, of course. He just put out a new guide to various. Well, he calls them monsters, and that feels so cruel to me. But he does have a new guide out that does contain information about beholders and their ilk. In terms of the classics, I mean, we certainly have various descriptions of them from the past. In fact, I might have a treatise here from a summoner who thought that they could be bound with sufficiently strong magic.
Interesting.
Moodar, you said you were looking for something else.
Oh yeah, I asked her about the rune magic, the one that I totally failed in looking for.
The magic that's used at the place where we live.
Yeah, rune binding. What's going on in our manor? I was also if that.
So if you describe it to her, she'll think about it for a moment, and then she says, "Well," and she will start to walk into the store and sort of look at the first floor, and she'll say to herself, Oh. She points to the pile of books closest to the door to her office, and she says, well, that's the architecture section. Most of the books are on the floor. She says, I do believe that there is a book on ancient carpentry, and I think there's a section on moon elf rune binding. Could you help me stand this bookshelf back up? I bet it's here.
Udar just looks it up at one thing. Standing bookshelf by itself.
All right. As you sit the bookshelf back up, you can see there's probably 30 or 40 books beneath it. She starts picking through them. I assume you help. But relatively quickly, she finds an old book, probably 6 inches thick, bound in leather, embossed, and the front cover has an embossment on it of actually a house in a style very similar to Troll Skull Manor. It only has 2 stories, so it's clearly not the same house, but it has a lot of the same sort of architectural elements in it. And it's like a 3/4 perspective of this house, as if you were looking at it from the top of a hill about 100 yards away. If you take the book that she hands to you, and she says, you can keep that, please. My thanks for your efforts here. You will have yourself a roughly 150-year-old book on elven carpentry.
All right, I'll do that.
The gift of knowledge.
How heavy is it?
Holy.
About 2 pounds.
May the Emperor protect.
All right.
All right. Uza looks around for a moment and she says, are the rest of you still upstairs? Is it safe?
Don't know that.
Seems like it.
There could still be some gazers left.
The house might be haunted.
It's not haunted. She
How do
laughs
you-
at that.
Really? How else do you explain the gazer?
She sort of smiles, gives you that oh you sweet summer child look, and she says, "Gazers they're like the dreams of beholders." And she looks over at Clargus and she says, "I assume that's why your friend mentioned Xanathar. But no, whoever dreamt up this gazer, I don't think was a ghost."
Yeah.
Really?
We dealt with a gazer before. Didn't realize that was exactly the nature of how they come about, but that would make some sort of sense, I guess.
Impressive
She
knowledge
looks-
for a book peddler.
She looks around at the books on the ground and she says, "One of the classics here mentions it. I don't think Folos does, though. Interesting now that I thought about it."
Lola. That's funny. That's out of character.
All right. Well, I suppose the place will continue looking upstairs.
She makes a move as if to follow you if you're going to move upstairs.
That's All right, if there's any gazers, be on the lookout.
She says, I have you big, strong gentlemen to help me.
All right. Then it'd probably be going back up and in and to the 2 rooms that weren't open first. So whoever's still perusing through books in the other room has ample time to doing their searching.
All right, give me just a second here.
Sure. Time-wise, are you all right, Watts?
Yeah, I'm good so far.
Cool.
All right. So the second floor, basically, I mentioned earlier, it has 3 rooms in it. One of them is that workshop sort of / kitchen space that I talked about. The other is a bedroom, and then the third is a bathroom, for lack of a better way to put it. Though not a privy, but like literally a room with a bath in it. Doesn't seem to be a privy in the building, implying that she probably does her business in pots. I guess I don't know. I mean, honestly, didn't really think about it until just now. But
She magics it away.
Right, exactly, Harry Potter style. Yeah, totally. But yeah, the one interesting thing about the bedroom is that there is a ladder that leads up to an opening in the ceiling, which reveals, well, from what you can see at the bottom, in the bedroom itself, bookshelves. When you enter. When you enter into the room, Uza sort of looks up at the ladder and the opening in the ceiling, and she says, "That's normally closed."
Anybody access that you know of?
She says, "Well, it was closed this morning when I went downstairs, and you folks have been the only ones in here but that gazer."
No, we didn't go there. Huh.
"How did it even get the door open?" she says.
Telekinesis.
She says as you say telekinesis. "I suppose gazers can have powers like that."
They're born from creatures who have powers like that, aren't they? I mean, they float off the ground.
I suppose it could use the toothy mouth of the evidence.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any scratch marks or, well, bite marks, I guess would be a better way to put that. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be any sort of signs of anything like that at all. But I mean, to be fair, you have seen a gazer use a telekinetic ray to smash somebody before, so you know they do have that capability.
Oh, that could have been the sound that you heard. Thought was done. It blasted that open.
Maybe, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, I guess hear your hum a little bit better in case cat living gazer are coming.
Indeed, she says, and she sort of turns around and starts to sort of usher you out of the room. Well, if you say everything's safe, I'll I'll see to it. Thank you so much for your help and keeping. And she gestures down to the cat that she's been holding this whole time, who is purring in her arms, on its back like a baby.
I walk in as like, I'd like to actually perceive the cat specifically now that it's completely calm and happy. Like,
sure.
Is the cat wearing anything?
No, not even a collar, actually. And it just seems to be a cat, though an exceedingly contented cat at the moment. It's practically falling asleep in its owner's arms, purring. Probably it was stressed and it's just finally coming down off the adrenaline high.
Okay, dokie. Miss, do you have a collar on him normally?
No, she's never been one to, or he, excuse me. I don't know why I just said she there. That's weird. he's never been one to, he's never been one to wander very far.
I was just trying to figure out why the gazer was going after it so much. It looked hungry, though.
She looks at her. She looks at her to Kitty, and she says, "Well, I'm glad he didn't eat you."
Oh, that makes two of us. He's a pretty kitty. Books can do amazing things. Like, you could have spells pop out of them. Could one of the books in here have popped the gazer?
Huh? And she actually looks back at the attic room for a moment, and she says, "No. There are some grimoires in my collection. There are a few spell books in my collection, in fact, but all of them would require a wizard or some other. I mean, really, a wizard to cast those spells."
Maybe some old trap that kind of wore out in some book.
Maybe. I mean, we do have some very old books here, but I generally try to, to ascertain the nature of the books that I acquire and sell. Even, and she looks back into her bedroom, she says, even in my special collection, their provenance is pretty well researched. That I wouldn't expect that. I mean, it's not my first day on the job,
The day that the gazer appeared, what kind of day was it? Like, was there like a weather storm of some sort?
It was today. I had just woken up. It was very early this morning. The sun had barely risen. No, there was nothing special about the weather.
I was just wondering if something could have arced things. I talked to a wizard once. He said that like lightning or mana potions could make runes do funny things.
No, nothing like that, she says.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out because I want you and Kit Kat safe.
Yeah, she thinks about it for a second and she says, "We haven't even gotten a new shipment of books in for a week or two. There's
That's
really
unusual.
nothing unusual about the day other than this." She sort of shakes her head and throws her hands up. Invasion.
Oh, wait. Books, they can have beacons to them, right? Like, a caster could reach out and find their book if they went looking for it.
Sure, she says.
What if this was someone's pet and they were using it to find it, or it was using it as a way beacon? Like like a lighthouse in the Nart for a ship.
You think I somehow had a beholder's book and didn't know? Good Lord.
Not necessarily a beholder's book, but somebody that worked with beholders. And that this had their essence still, and they was like, he's there, and sent a beholder there. Would you have a prominent book like that?
No. she thinks about it again. No, generally the books of that nature, the books of that caliber, for lack of a better way to put it, are generally sold on consignment. I take a small fee to find those books and bring them here for the people who specifically want them, you know? I haven't actually performed one of those commissions in a little while. Gosh, the last was for a dark elf. I can't remember his name now. He's a sea captain. Anyway, it was several months ago. I can't imagine that that's related.
Oh, that reminds me, Zelly. Maybe this lady can tell you how the tree and the fish and the. It's been a long day, Zelly.
Also, do you know the name of the boat that he was on? Was it the Eye Catcher?
The Eye Catcher. No, the Eye Catcher. That name sounds familiar, though, she says. Huh. I wonder if I know somebody serving on it, she says. I don't know. That name just sounds so familiar. At this point, you're not convinced that that's not just old lady talk.
But what about Zoe? Or Zelly?
Yeah.
So Zelly sort of shyly steps forward and she says, I want to know why a tree would grow a fish. And Uza looks at her for a second, and then she laughs and she says, I don't know why a tree would grow a fish, but, and she points to the mess downstairs, and she says, I have many books that could lead you down that line of reasoning, I suppose. You want the section called philosophy.
That'd be floundering for a while.
Chuckles at her own joke as she says. When nobody else laughs, she says,
I laughed.
I mean to say that I don't think I have the answer to your question, girl, but questions of that nature are often the domain of higher thinkers. And she sort of winks at the dragon as she says it.
Could it also be done by magic?
Could you make a tree grow a fish, you mean? I suppose, she says, sort of looking up at the sky in thought. I suppose with the right command of the elements or the right communication with the tree, perhaps? I hear that some trees are quite accommodating if you can understand them. She thinks about it and she says there are several elven books that could potentially talk to you about how one could induce a tree to grow a fish. Not that I think there's ever any record of that happening, mind you.
It's really interesting. Magic's so amazing.
Indeed, she says with sort of a sparkle in her eye. It's been a hobby of mine for years. I'm no great wizard or anything, but I can cast a spell or two.
That's awesome.
Indeed.
Do you ever want to do like live speakings or demonstrations? There's going to be a new podium in an inn.
Oh no! She shakes her hand dismissively. She says, "I'm far too old for that sort of thing. No. That said, if you do find performers, or if you ever do need a rare book, you can always come to Uza's." And she points to her shop.
Of course.
Maybe not today, though.
Oh, also, if you need more help, please send word. You're nice. This place is fun. Has good feels.
You Harpers are good people. Thank you for coming to my aid.
The Emperor protects.
Glad we could help. Did Floon say what we're supposed to give you? Do we just tell Floon? Usually, like, there's a marker. Like, I've done other jobs. Like, there's usually a completion type thingy.
She says, I really just sent a message to Floon for help, and you appeared.
Okay.
I
No,
don't
that's
think there's
okay.
more.
No, a deal saying job done type thing. But we can just tell Floon.
Indeed, I mean, I'm happy to speak to Floon the next time I see him on your behalf.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, who's hungry? I think it's lunchtime.
All right. Well, why don't you all give yourselves 100 XP for dealing with the gazer?
No automatic divvying, sir.
It's a what's the way to put it? It's a DM discretionary payout. So I'm just saying that's 100 XP for each of you.
Huzzah.
All right. Cool.
Any loot parcel that may or may not have existed may or may not have already been given out. All right, guys. Well, it is midnight, so it's probably a good time to call it for the day. Thank you very much for
Oh
playing.
yeah, no, thank you for DMing.
Indeed. And your chosen apprentice will have arrived by the time you return to your home.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I am gonna call it a night then.
Good night.
All right, everybody, have a good one.
Cheers.